much, Malaxmi team and the Sedibus, and this is a good opportunity for me also to interact with. How do these companies, get started? Idea to becoming. Not every company will become $1 billion enterprise, but how do you make it a successful project, and how do you execute on your plan? And to get there, how do you, raise money? So that is the think process. Put your thoughts together. When you have an idea, put it on paper, or at least jot that down in terms of what your idea is and what problem you are trying to solve. Most of these successful organizations, they have not created something out of thin air, or they have created something and they are forcing the customers to buy. No. They have identified a gap in the marketplace, and then they have said, they have come up with an innovative solution which meets the problems which the people are facing. So every business or every startup that even we look at, we ask the promoter, why did you start the business? It's not to say, okay, business starts, how much money you are making, what is the projections. Those are not the first question. The question is, why did you even get into this business? And is it something that is scalable, that can be made much bigger than what you are doing right now? So those are some of the fundamental things that any investor will ask. And even for you as an entrepreneur, as a business person that you want to become, think of what problem you are solving and why you are getting into it. Another thing is, there is an industry that exists. Can I become a complete, can I take a completely different approach and create a new market, or replace the existing segment altogether? That is very much possible. So what I am saying is, when you think of the marketplace, identify what you are targeting. Are you going after something that is so big and you want to capture a small percentage? Medical research companies also, where they take a smaller segment. The total market size is only 120 million or 100 million, and they want to take a sizable chunk of a smaller segment. So you can always try to become a large volume player or a niche player, a smaller market, but a bigger player in that particular industry. So try to do as much research as possible in the industry that you are picking. So structuring the business, what kind of governance structure, management team, execution, not enough to just come up with the idea, but you need to have a solid execution team, right? Technology, finance, marketing. So how you're doing all of those. Have you also heard of angel investors, a product that you want to show? You got to develop a prototype or some kind of a pilot. For that to happen, an investment could be a few thousand rupees. But unless you do that, you will never get to the second stage or subsequent stages of growth. So first source of funding for most of the entrepreneurs, 99% is friends and family. These are the investors who can obviously be tapped into when you come up with the right idea, with the right pitch. Most entrepreneurs start off with friends, family, and in some of the universities, we also have grants, incubation hub, where they are encouraging ideas and funding them in early stages, even when the students are still studying or they are in their early stages. When ideas are still being formulated and you want to come up with a good prototype or some kind of a sample, this is called the seed round of funding. And they call these unicorns. Unicorn company that has touched $1 billion in valuations, crores. Because they are seeing so much value, money is also coming into this country. What is private equity? These are people who invest into more mature companies where the risk is slightly smaller. The return expectations are also slightly smaller. They don't expect every company to become 3 times, 5 times, 10 times returns, but they look for still healthy, 20-25% of IRR, internal rate of return. There is also a risk in giving away too much of the company to external investors. Because the company does really well, you may be left with little to nothing. If you dilute your stake, you have some ideas. So even right now, like I said in the beginning, you will document some ideas, but always think through. If someone explains, when you game idea undante, are you able to articulate or explain in 2 minutes? Keep that as some kind of a challenge to yourself. You don't need to go and tell everybody, whether it's Ratan Tata himself or these venture capitalists and all of these, they get anywhere between 15 to 20 proposals every day. So unless you make that impression in the first 20 seconds, they'll never go into the subsequent slides or further discussion. Forget about that. So So how you are differentiating yourself is going to be paramount for your benefit. I mean, you have to think, because it's not just for raising funds, but for your sustainability and for your future execution and marketing also. As long as you as an entrepreneur or owner is thinking through what can also go wrong, that's a very positive aspect as far as the investor is concerned, because he knows that you're not only thinking of the 100% positive outcomes of every single action, but you're also thinking of what can go wrong and how you can mitigate. You're not starting a business tomorrow, but you can apply the same line of thinking when you are doing any of your project work papers. Incubation hubs, maybe Sedibus nunchi evarana kuda you can brief as to how students with good ideas, they can also get connected. This is one platform. Or if you really have a good business proposition or plan, try executing using your friends and family at least to show a sample, or you can go in front of investors. I think you have to be a little bit more proactive in identifying. I think I really appreciate what Sedibus is doing. Look me up on LinkedIn, and if anyone wants to stay in touch or get any further information, just type in Ravi Kiran Pothineni on LinkedIn. We're happy to help you guys out. Okay, thank you. Take care.